Breaking news in college football. Texas running back Bijan Robinson has declared for the NFL draft. He said he will skip the Alamo Bowl against Washington, which is scheduled for December 29th, but he will attend the game to support his teammates. Robinson won the Doak Walker Award as the nation's top running back this season, rushing for nearly 1,600 yards and 18 touchdowns for the Longhorns. So production aplenty for Robinson this past season. But when you look at our 2023 NFL Draft running back rankings, we have him slotted as the number 2 ranked running back, right behind Jahmyr Gibbs, the two of them sitting at 15th and 16th overall. But a lot of time for those things to still figure themselves out as bowl season wraps up and we prep for the draft next year. Bring in Rick Spielman, our NFL expert, former longtime NFL GM. First off, you've got to figure with the shelf life of running backs and the way that he has produced, despite still having 2 years left at Texas, no shock that Robinson's headed to the draft, right?
No, first off, we better fix those rankings because he's definitely the number 1 back coming out. He is one of the most complete backs that I've seen since Saquon Barkley came out. And when you watch the game last night and what a difference a running back can make, especially when you have to run the ball, this kid can do everything that I believe Barkley did when he came out. Not only is he a big back, but he has excellent inline vision. He has excellent run balance. He can make people miss in a small area, and he has speed to finish in the open field. The other thing that people probably don't talk enough about is that he's very good in pass protection, and he's a dangerous receiver out of the backfield. So when you have a big back like that with all those combinations, and I'm sitting there watching the tape, and I'm sitting there trying to find holes in this kid, and I just can't find any because he's that good of a football player, and he's that explosive of a playmaker. And you see here, when he does get in the open field, he has an opportunity to go off and finish plays. So the question will come as we get through this draft process and start talking about this position in general. There's no question to me he is one of the top playmakers on the offensive side of the ball in this year's draft. What you're talking about is how do teams value the running back position. And if you look at the history as you go through this, running backs have the shortest shelf life out of any position on a football roster just because of the collisions they take week in and week out. So if a team values a running back and wants that to be the focal point of their offense, there's no question this guy is going to be on top of the board. The question comes in when you're in these draft meetings or you're on that clock and you need another position, but this kid is just sticking out like a sore thumb at the top of your draft board, why wouldn't you take him?
You mentioned valuation for how you look at running backs. His production, being able to catch the ball out of the backfield as well, totaling almost under 1,900 yards, 20 touchdowns, second among all running backs in the FBS. Ryan Wilson has him going 19th overall in the first round to the Bucs. Looking at that, could you see that being a fit in a good spot for him to land? And is that a good spot to take him?
Yeah, no, I think that's right in the wheelhouse. Now, I don't think he's going to go in the top 10 or 10, 15 like Barkley did because of the way teams are maybe devaluing the position. And, you know, I'll fix Ryan's mock draft as we go on through this process. But for a Tampa Bay team, depending on what happens at quarterback, depending on what happens with Tom Brady, what is their identity going to be? But to get a playmaker on offense like this kid, that would sure help the Tampa Bay Bucs offense.
Yeah, a Tampa team that certainly struggled to run the ball and haven't got as much production out of Leonard Fournette as they would want to. He's Rick Spielman tapping in with this, covering this breaking news out of college football. Texas running back Bijan Robinson has declared for the NFL draft. You can get a lot more from Rick and his buddy Ryan Wilson, who we mentioned in their podcast with the first pick. They get you ready for the NFL draft at all times during the year, but it's coming up sooner than we know it. So make sure you tap in with them, like and subscribe, give a follow to With the First Pick.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.